Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Shushant, and today we all are gathered here for a group discussion on a topic a childhood trauma affects adulthood and its effect on society. So, here we are talking about the not illness trauma, that traumatic illness. Here we are talking about the emotion that a child experience emotional and a painful past. So, what are these effects on that person's life when he get adult? So there are some changes that comes in that person's life when he's suffering from that particular experience, suffering from that traumatic events. So first changes that comes in that person, it makes that person pessimistic. Like he changes the point of view that of that person. It makes that person pessimistic, means how he see the world. He always see the negative side of that world, despite having the positive sides. And the another change that comes in that person, that he always feels alone because of that past behavior or past experience, and he don't like to trust anyone. And he when he don't like to trust anyone, then he also don't like to share their problems to someone. So because of that, he feel lonely and stressful. So because of that, their anxiety also increased. And the other changes that come, the third one, that is insecurity towards his family. Like there's a child who lost his mother, and after a couple of months he also lost his grandmother in the same year. So that event affects mentally to that child. If someone is going for a while, just for a 5 minutes from his family to somewhere, and when that person gets late 2 to 3 minutes, then the negative thoughts came into his mind. And what happened to them, what going to be happen with him. So these are the changes that comes in that person. Now I would like to invite others to participate.
So hello everyone, this is me Prajwal Pathak, and I am really agree with that you said, Shashank, that most of the problems happen in childhood that come. So according to me, I also think the same, that whatever the trauma children has in past, it ultimately occurs after the adolescence, means in his adulthood. Like the traumas can be that you mentioned, can be mentally and physical disorder or mental disorder. Mostly the mental trauma can is very dangerous to them. Like if there are two ways a child can take that thing, positively and negatively. It can take and leads to a criminal behavior, that leads to him a criminal behavior. See, in for example, that see if a child sees what his father do with his mother or someone else, and what he learns, like we always say, bachcha jo dekhega wahi seekhega. So that also applies here also. What he says, like we all have seen the movie Mardani 2. Here a psychotic boy that learned from what his father did, so that makes his mind according to that, and he also did the same. So so it leads to negative, and how it leads to positive way. Like if someone went through very serious or very bad conditions in their past, then they can take that as a motivation also. Like they are I am what did yeah. And also if someone experienced racism and discrimination, they can also take that what positively and do something better, so that they can stop that thing. So there are the ways we have to think how they can affect the life.
So, hello everyone. My name is Badal Kumar, and I agree with you all that we came to know that what is trauma, but what are the reasons of trauma? There are lots of reasons. Like we see in our family, Indian family, especially Indian family, parents expect their children to do what things that they could not do in their parts in their life, and they expect to their children that he will do our dreams they fulfill our dreams, and for that they expect. to fulfill their dreams, their parents want to become like doctor, engineer, and they suppose he will do he will become the engineer and doctor. And for that they do not ask their children what they want to do in their life and what they want to become in their life. And there are many cases, there are many movies also, like Three Idiots. We can see in that movie there is a character of Farhan, and he wanted to become a photographer, and his father wanted to see him as an engineer. And and there are many cases, because of this children started lying with the parents, and they do not share their feelings and their incidents of their life. Uh, and many in life there are many cases we should explain and tell our parents, but because of fear of trauma, we can say it is a trauma. And because of this children do not share this incident with their parents, and they get depression. And in also in schools, teachers are depressed and ex or lonely, and the teacher thrust upon the anger on the students. And that's why children are getting depressed, and we can say it's the cases of trauma.
Hello everyone, my name is Nishadanga. Firstly, I would like to add some point. As he said, our parents wants only perception in children. If we talk about Indian cricketer Yuvraj Singh, Yuvraj Singh's father wanted to see his son like a cricketer, but in under 14 state championship, he won gold medal. After he won gold medal, be a he wanted to be a player in skating, but his father did not want to see him as a skater. Now I would like to say what is childhood trauma. Childhood trauma means it refers that child have experience psychological, physical and mental abuse and sexual abuse, and physical and mental assault, and many harassment things. They had to suffer in childhood. That's why they was as they keep growing up, they start to get frustrated, they have an anxiety and more.
Actually, when sir gave me this topic, then I went through the comments of the video of trauma. Then I saw some comments like a person was commenting like when he was a child, his parents was a alcoholic, and like his father, he was a alcoholic, like a boozer. And the person was habitual get up in the late in the morning. And he one day he get up 8 a.m. in the morning, and his father started beating him without any reason. He got his clothes removed, uh, and make him run whole the society. All the society member were watching him, and the children and the people were bullying him. And that's why after year and months he was bullying by the students and the colleagues of him. That's why uh, he lost his confidence level, and many things. The mental health was damaged. And so this is the case of trauma. And we there are lots of comments in that section that the parents were fighting each other, and the children was watching their fights. So this also affect the mental health of the students. We can say the children, they face many difficulties, and after and as they are getting grown up, uh, their their mental health and thinking and the decision making power, and they started lying with the parents and abusing, and they maybe become a criminals type. And as we can see in the animal movie, the violence and the student, sorry, the children has been make himself as a violent person.
Yeah, I agree with your point. My name is Yukti Sharma. Uh, I seriously agree with your point. Actually, when when a child experience these things, and it actually affect mentally to them very deeply, then it actually changes his approaches. It actually creates negativity in his mind. He or she takes the things very negatively. His nature becomes pessimistic. He never sees positive side of the particular situation or things. He never solve that problems in a positive way. They always take those things negatively, which actually create them a criminal minded or make them criminals. We can take an example of a movie. Now, I don't know the name of other psycho killers. We can think about psycho killers. They are made just because of these situations. So, in a Katputli movie, I think you all have watched. So, in a Katputli movie, that particular person who kills the girls, and mainly girls, and who mainly tortures them and just very badly, and just because he was very ugly, and he was उसको क्या बोलते हैं, he was bullied by many students in his school time. That's why he took which that things affects him very deeply. So he took that very seriously and make those things correct in a very negative way, just to satisfy him.
So it doesn't matter that trauma comes in a childhood or comes in a adulthood. Many times trauma has been seen in adulthood also. Like if I talk about the recent case, there's a boy in Ujjain who committed a suicide because he's a gay and he likes to put on the makeups and saris, and he upload that videos on Instagram. So many of the people trolled him on in comment section. So because of that comments, he committed suicide because he gets trauma from that comments also. So it also affects the society because we are losing our future generations. So yeah, it's affect the society.
So, hello everyone. My name is Prashant Chaudhary. As we are here for talking about traumas of childhood to the students. So there is different type of traumas in their childhood period, like the yelling by the parents. So many of the student was thinking, if I didn't get the 90 plus marks in 10th class or ninth class, or in 12th class, so his or her parents was yelling on him. That's why many of the cases was outed by in newspapers that in ninth class a student committed suicide, 10th class student committed suicide because he is not getting 90 plus marks. So what suicide note she was writing, sorry mama and papa, I am committed suicide because I am not getting that percentage that you want to be think that I can achieve. So this type of traumas was really bad things in Indian societies, because our parents wants more expectations to us. I think that parents wants to be an expectation to the children, but according to their limits. If we going to the expectation more than their limits, then it's becoming the mental pressure or anything else. Or I would like to talk about an like a different type of trauma. So like parents was fighting with each other, and the student was seeing things that my parents was always fighting in a different in a small things. So what they will feel, they are feeling loneliness, not love with their parents, so they try to get love with another ones. They are trying to find love in another people's, like their colleagues, their classmates, and different type. After when these type of things, like she was saying about the movie
Katputli.
Katputli, the boy was trolled by all of the peoples in their class, but one girl was being a friendship with him, and when he was trolled by that girl, then his mother and he killed that girl, and there was mother was going to be the jail, and the boy was started killing these age group girls by that conditions, because the boy having a cause of early old age people. He was looking like in 9-year-old, and he was looking like a 100-year-old person. So this is the condition of that boy, and he was trolling about that. Or in another way, I want to say that he, like we are there is a one reason that we are all says that yelling and brutal cases in childhood was all are negative effect. No, all are not a negative effect. Some are also gives a good effects, like if the student was doing too much noisiness in their school, or too much noisiness in their home in presence of their family members or some neighborhoods. So if his mother was yelling on him at that time, it was good for the boy student, or we will we say that child of that parents, because if they are not yelling on him at that time, they are starting doing these things again and again, and every time at that time periods when neighbors or family members will come. So yelling and sometime beating or brutal relation with her children was not an impact and negative. But what I give you an example of animal movie. What was it saying by it is that the father of hero was brutally related with him many times. But what was his thinking, that my father is teaching me in a good way. He wants to make me a brave boy. That's why he is trying to beat me when I'm doing wrong things or this. So this is the mentality. These things make him a toughest guy in this movie. So you cannot say that brutal relationships make a person in a negative manners. He doing negative things, like he become a dacoit, but at the time when his father was killed by someone, then he was doing these things. Except when his father was lived, he was just enjoying his life, he was not doing anything. So the negative impact was coming to the student minds is when he lost someone to his family members.
I agree with you that you said sometimes yelling on students is a blessing in disguise, but sometimes it's also affect negatively. Like if I talk about, if I share my real experience, I'm studying in college, and when I was in third year, so there was a student in FT branch, food technology. He committed suicide because the dean of my college and also the HOD of the food technology, he yells that student in front of his parents. He calls his parents in their office and yells on the student in front of their parents and mock him in front of the parents. And the next day, in the night, he committed the suicide. And the other thing that and the other thing is that there was another incident also. Like in that same year, there's a boy who likes the girl, and that girls don't like him. One day, what happened? He goes to that girl, not in the college, and in their hometown or somewhere. He approached that girl. There was some with that girl. There was 4 to 5 boys are there, and when he found that the girl is alone, he goes to them and approach her. He refused the proposal of that boy, and also the 5 boys with her also beat that boy at that time. On the next day, the boys also committed the suicide with a note.
As you saying these 2 points, the boy who was committed suicide was already a mental patient
So what
by
is
their
the, so
family.
we are talking about the
Yes, it
trauma.
was mentally depressed होते हैं वो लोग That's why they are committed suicide by these two little bit things. They are not thinking about his parents.
So
What
this
was the
is called
condition of
so
our
this is
parent? Was
trauma, na? This is trauma.
I am saying about sometime
Yeah.
yelling or brute. Sometime I am talking about sometime yelling to their child was good. I'm not saying always yelling on their child was good.
I also
Sometimes,
said that na, a blessing in disguise sometimes is okay.
but the boy was committed suicide was really mentally depressed. Not was only that matter.
So
That
he's
it is a little
traumatized.
bit matter that was going and they was committed suicide.
So, hello everyone. I would like to add my points. As childhood is the time where we are reshaping our future, and in adolescence, children are going through so many changes, like physical and mentally. That time they were so curious about everything, and they want to know whatever they are going through. Sometimes when they ask their teachers or with parents, uh, and they refuse or scolded them, they take it in negative way. uh, Parents compare them with others. Actually they are facing that time so many things. They want to get the answer of them. Like I heard a case. um, There, a teacher just scolded him because of their look. He was not wearing a proper clothes. So he just committed suicide because of his comment. हम्म, वो बहुत sensitive actually that we could say that the time is very sensitive to those children. uh, I think teachers, parents should need to counsel them timely. We can recognize it by their behavior. Sometimes they are facing lot of problems with their servant, with their relatives, with their drivers. As we heard so many cases, these all are the example of harassment, physically or and if they want to share, I think normally parents didn't support them. These leads to them trust issues, attachment issues in future, low self-esteem. They become introvert.
As she is saying about that the child was committed suicide by yelling by the teachers. So in my opinion, these childs are at that type of child who was never yelling by their parents, yelling by their parents in any time. And when in he was or she was in school at the classes of ninth and 10th, so he and she was at 14-year-old and not yelling or just scolding by his parents. So he or she thinks that it was biggest insult in my whole life that teacher was saying to me this or so. They are mentally depressed at that time, or they are committed suicide. I give you an example of same, like a not same, a different example. The Delhi girl of second class, she was brutal sex by his school teacher. And now what was the thinking of that girl? She looks all the boys and all the male are same, that the all males are bad. Insecurities, she feels insecurity in presence of males. So this impact, these things impact this childhood trauma of that girl was impacted in their whole life. She never comes out to their room. She think if even she saw his father or brother, she get started fits by seeing his father and brother also. So the childhood traumas is affecting many of the types in student brains. As we seeing many of the students uh, wants to do something, but he was think in class that the boy and the girl was doing good in maths, but he or she was good in science. So she trying to be good in maths. At that time she was not getting good marks in both math and science. So she was shocked that how can it be happen to me that I am not getting good marks in science as I am the good in science. But what, now she was in going to be depressed at that time. Now she was going to be depressed at that time because science is her or his favorite subject. She always getting good marks in science, but now for achieving in the maths she was also not getting good marks in science. So this started his continuously less marks in science because his mentality was fixed at that period. She was also not getting good marks in science, so mentality was fixed, she never get a good marks. So at the same, if the student getting something, sir वो डरने को कहते हैं afraid. If some children was afraid by something in their childhood, so the mentality was set that this thing is heavier than me, I am always afraid on this thing. Giving an example of that, a baby elephant was roped by a rope to the gate. What was he was trying to तोड़ने का कहते हैं सर, he the baby elephant was trying to break the rope, but he not break the rope because the rope is tougher to them to break because he was only a child. But when he was young adult elephant, he also not going to break that rope because his mental, his thinking was that the rope is still tough to break. So yes, for him. So this is the traumas of childhood, or we will be say this is the problem of childhood, that we are fixed in our minds that we cannot do these things. So this is my point.
Yeah, like you said, why this thing mostly happens in childhood, because childhood is the state which is very sensitive, and it is a state of learning. Children learn that thing, whatever that thing that he sees or experiences, like if he sees, like we all are talking about the thing, and sorry, and it also point to be noted that it can be taken positive also, like we are talking about the crimes that a adult is doing because of his past, because of his past, but he can take it positively, and whatever strategies he is making to kill someone, he can use that strategy to contribute to India also. Yeah, I'm talking about positively, that whatever he is doing to take revenge of himself, just for himself, he can do that thing for his nation also. So that is the thing, it is the thinking of the people, how he is taking that thing positively or negatively. So that's my point.
So as a really good discussion we have been discussing here, and or some of the students they requested me to get in the video, so I have come here. So here you can see they have discussed some points about relationship between parents, comparing kids each other, corporal punishments, like self doubts are there, FOMO. You must have understood the FOMO. FOMO means fear of being missing out. So person is being missing out. This also can be reason, and as well, whatever you are today, just because of your psychological, however you have your psycho for negative and positive. But here I want them to discuss some more points one by one. How the relationship between parents, how relationship impact on them. Just I want you to discuss on this thing just for some minutes, then I'll have some more point also. Because first point is that relationship between parents, how it is impacting on the kids. If in a family they have good relationship parents, then how the nourishment can be done, how they can be brought up. Similarly, if they have negative impact, then how the negative impact can be done, and how we can solve the problem, how parents can make this convivial atmosphere inside the home. So I want them to discuss. If anybody wants to speak on this topic, then they can go ahead.
So, if I talk about the relationship, a healthy relationship or a negative negative side of the relationship. So, if I talk about healthy, then it doesn't change anything. Instead, like it doesn't change anything to that child. He grows very well. He grown up very well, and he treats their girl or their spouse very well. And if their child is a very violent, like his father came at home by having liquor and start beating his mother, then it really affect that child. He also thinks that I am also going to. In that situation, there's two aspects are there. Once he start tolerating that thing, and other thing is that he also start drinking liquor. So when he start drinking liquor, in future he is going to beat his wife or spouse or their girl. And if he tolerate that thing, then he will treat their wife or girl very well.
So, in my opinion, relationship of parents impact on the student. If the relationship is good, then nothing is to worry. But if the relationship of parents was not good, they were always fighting in front of their child. So it impact the depression on them. So what should parents do to not be a part of or our fight to make the students? So parents was delay their fights in front of their child. If there was a one problem in their family and they want to discuss, so they will be discuss this problem when the student was going to school or when to play a game outside their house. So then they can discuss about these things. But in front of child they not allowed to fight, because this makes a bad impact on the children, and they learn these things and they do when they are getting married.
So, as we talking about the relationship between the parents, now we can see in India there are many cases of hookup culture, and the parents are making relationship of other candidates, like the like father is making relationship with other women, and woman the mother is making relationship with other father, yeah, male. So in that condition, children thinks that loneliness, because the mother is talking with the other person and father is talking with the other person, and they in that case it is it is very normal that disputes are very easily happen in the family. So in that case, children uh, normally normally damaged and mentally damaged, and they feel lonely, that because father have a separate family and mother has a separate family. What family they will accept and they will get. So in that case, trauma is very normal, and trauma is happening in the family.
Here you can see they have discussed that it is bound to happen if parents are not giving time to each other. As well, they are not giving time to kids also. They have such kind of trauma, they start feeling neglected. When once they are feeling neglected, definitely they are going to worse the society. If the child, when he grows up, he will always think all the parents, he will always take all the people who are mature enough, they will be saying marriage is just kind of curse for them. Because after marriage, what they see, they fight all the time. He has seen his parents fighting all the time, then he or she is gonna take marriage life as a worst life hell. So that's what that can be a biggest trauma, and that person is going to show the future, the what will be the future of the child. The child will definitely, he is going to deny the marriage. People are accepting going for the no marriage because they know after marriage their life is hell, just because of such reasons. Here I would like to go for another point, that corporal punishment. Corporal punishment, the punishment which is physically given to the students in the classroom. So should we support this or not? Earlier time, if you talk about, many of the parents, they themselves said to the teachers, you are free to beat my child anytime. But they have never thought the mental stage of the child. As I listened to the discussion previously, he was saying this kind of punishment is good. Some of the students, when they are punished in front of their friends, or front of the female friend, or male female are beaten in front of the male, they feel insulted and they commit suicide. Absolutely, because they have never felt in their life such insult previously. If they had faced the such insult, definitely they would have faced the problem and they would have been stronger. That's what he talked about. But even if I want to know, should be allowed, should corporal punishment be allowed in the schools or not? So what is your opinion about this? Would you like to say something about that?
I think corporal punishment should not be banned fully. It actually depends on the mental health of a particular child, how actually he is going through his in his life. I think teachers should understand what the particular student is going through in his background or in his family, and and actually every student is not same. every student is facing many other things, like some have like dispute in their parents and families, some are facing other challenges, some are facing poverty and other things. So every student are facing many different challenges in their life. So I think teacher should understand the same, and whatever punishment he or she is giving to the child, they should understand his mental condition, what he is going through or not.
I agree with your point, but as you said, a teacher should understand what is the feeling of the student. So in the class, there are lots of students. One teacher cannot understand what is going on in the student's family and every student. So according to me, teacher should punish the student, not physically. He can punish him only by giving more homework competitions and
So the corporal punishment should be banned, yeah, we can say fully banned in schools, because if students misbehave with a teacher or any other students or do something bad, then teachers must have to consult with their parents, not start yelling on him, not start shouting on him. So if that thing is happen, then students is also get to know that he's doing something wrong. So they must consult that problem in front of their parents.
Corporal punishment should be not banned in the schools, because this punishment should be started in a nursery or LKG's classes, according to mine. Because when we think see that the person was giving corporal punishment in higher classes, they was thinking that she insulted me. But when she was getting this punishment in lower classes, and starting from that, they were not thinking that she insulted me. What was going, that the student was start studying. If the boy was not in a fear of their teacher that he or she will punish me, then they are not learning, or they are not doing their homeworks, they are not learning their tables, and we will say subject courses. But if he or she has a fear that the teacher was giving me a punishment, she beated me in front of class, in front of girls, so the boys or girls will start learning and studying well.
As you said, shouldn't be banned, but yeah, shouldn't be banned, but the most of the time teacher what do, they start embarrass mock the student in front of the whole class. So we shouldn't do that. Instead of that, they can give the punishment. I agree with you that punishment gives the motivation to study, that when he finds that he's being scolded in front of the class, it's okay. But when a teacher start to mock him or embarrassing him, then he's feel very insecure.
So which type of punishment you want to
I already say na that raising hand or any kind of punishment like beating on hands,
So
scaling,
corporal punishment
It's
should
all
not
come
be
but
banned
under the
fully.
but
punishment.
not starting embarrassing that student in front of the class.
Yeah.
It affect mentally.
Mentally.
Yeah.
So here I would request you all to also, you can post comment on that, how we can stop the corporal punishment. If we give corporal punishment in the schools, then there's a problem. And government has also banned this in schools. Teachers are not able to say anything. If corporal punishment are not given, the students are not going to study. It is also fact. So what are the solutions? You can comment below. Here I would like to ask. Here I would like to discuss one last point. The point is that about childhood trauma, many of the kids, they were sexually assaulted by their family members, by their teachers. It can be anyone, by the neighbors, tuition teachers, anyone. So most of the kids, I have heard the story of the many students, many kids, many, they are talking about that. Not only girls, even boys also. So they were sexually assaulted by their neighbors. But then how they can get rid of that trauma? So I want to discuss that, like sexual assault that doesn't mean that the person had sex with them. It's not about that. It's all about the thing. They sexually assaulted them. They touched them bad way, and they you must have heard about, they harassed them somewhere. So they uncomfortable touches were done with them, and girl and the particular child was not feeling well. So this kind of trauma will stay with them last long. So how they can survive with this trauma, and how they can get rid of this trauma in future also. Definitely the child or that girl or that boy is going to have this kind of, like, body has a kind of feeling. mentally he may forget this, but body will never forget this. And this is what happening. Many of the people, they are not able to share that because their closed one has done it with them. So the closed one has done it with them, so they are not going to able, they are not going to share with anyone. So this is what how we can get rid of this problem, and this trauma is going to face biggest problem. How we can sort out this problem? If something is happening with them, they are being sexually assaulted with by someone, especially close one, then how they can get rid of this? So I want you to discuss this last point, so that.
I think family is the most closest thing which we connect ourselves. I think parents. Firstly, parents should be more freely with their child. I think they should be more freely, which so that a child can easily talk to their parents and easily share his or her problem, or whenever he is assaulted or whatever is done with him, he can share with his parents. I think so. Firstly, parents should be more free to his or her child. I think.
I am partially agree with your points, but what was happened? The children was don't know what is the sexual harassment was happening to them. They don't know what is bad thing, what is good thing, because in India we are lack of talking about the sexual things, that what is good or what is bad. If we teach our children that this type of touch was bad and this type of touch is good, and these are the things which was be connected by the sexual things, and this is are the simplest things. If it was teaching by us, then this trauma should be considered not happen. If we are teaching our girl's child in a childhood that someone touching you like that, it is bad touch. If someone touch, then tell us. So the I'm talking about, listen one, that family was not doing this. Family was considered like mother, father, and their brothers. They was never do this kind of things. The close ones was their mamas, uncles, and chachas. This was, they were do these things. But if the girl was going to tell about the condition of their touching by their uncles to their parents, they never allowed the family members to contact with her, or never send the girl to with them, or and anything. If we are also teach these things in their schools, then we all know about what was the sexual things was happen. As we see, OMG 2 is the movie in which this thing was taking to the huge amount. The boy was caught by doing masturbation in their school, and then his father was fighting against that. The school was not taught him what is good or what is bad. If the school teach him that masturbation is wrong, they never do this. They wants to try to learn many of the pupils that it is good or not. If the teachers or the parents teach him that it is good or it is bad, if my like it's a girl and his mother teach him in when she was in 5 year old, that if someone touches you on a neck, it is a bad touch. If someone touch you, then to tell me that who one touch. So it is reduce the traumas of sexual happening in their childhood.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, it should be taught in a school, or it should. Every teacher, I think, should teach this particular. I think girls or boys separately, or I think combinedly, and I think in every way. But it should be taught in a school. I think some of students, I think I was teaching, they told me that their teachers skip the chapters of reproduction and all, because yeah, in class 9th and 10th they just don't want to teach, and just because they are studying in a co-ed class, they don't want to share these things. Actually, these things should be taught in a school, and should be taught each and every student that what is actually sex education.
But the question is, what is the solution? How to get rid of it if someone is gone through that situation? We are talking about measures that we can tell them to that this is wrong. But what happens to them that it when that they suffered from this condition? How can they get rid of it? So that's the question. So anyone wanna answer it?
So I would like to answer. When any kind of sexual harassment done with a girl, then the girl, what she thinks, that I lose everything, because for girl their respect and their respect and dignity is a very valuable thing for her. So when it get hurt, so it's she thinks that I lose everything. Okay, so at that time our parents must consult with that girl and try to consult that you didn't lose anything, we are with you and nothing's going to happen with you. We will face the society if someone says anything bad to you. We are with you always. So at that time the child feel safe and don't feel insecurity about that thing. Yeah, they will support. Yeah.
So finally, as we had healthy discussion on the topic, childhood traumas are going to affect our adulthood, how it is going to affect, as all have discussed. So I also want my viewers to post some comments over there. They also can have let me know some more videos on which topic should I select. These topics I got from students are preparing for UPSC exams. So they told me to make some such kind of videos so that we can get more ideas. So here I've got students, they discuss such kind of videos. So the traumas are there in a life have various ways to get in. Like some students, they were not treated better way. Some people, they were not treated in childhood better way, so they are like that. Treatment can be there, their physical appearance can be there. So many problems are there. Some students, they lost their mother, some people they lost their father also, they still are suffering from same problem. Some of them, they, in childhood, they lost their brothers, they lost their sisters, they are having same problem, because this is what can never be forgotten by them. So here I just request, how can we get rid of this problem, how we can overcome these problems. A person having some skills, getting some motivation towards doing some such kind of things, they must set some targets and goals. Only then you can come out such traumas. If all the time you are being after of same thing, I lost some such kind of things, people did something wrong with me, my parents did something wrong with me, kept thinking about such ridiculous, getting worried about such things, you are not going to get rid of these problems. Set some goals, have some targets, have some people in your life who are loving you, who are caring for you, or you are supposed to care for others. What have you done for nation, what have you done for the family, what have you done for the people surrounding you? Just start thinking about that. Then somewhere I feel that this kind of traumas can be reduced. Can never be removed, but can be reduced somewhere. So that's it for, thank you so much everyone. Jai Hind. Thank you.